Yo guys, Austria rounds out a 3-race run of absolutely fantastic tracks. Canada and Silverstone are two of my favourite tracks to race in F1 22, and Austria is up there with them. All three of these tracks are extremely fast and have many similarities, including long straights and fast and flowing corners. So it may be surprising that the car setups are all actually quite different. Canada benefits from an extremely soft suspension, whereas our Austria and Silverstone suspension setups couldn't be more different. But before we get to the suspension, let's look at the Aero setup for Austria. One area where this setup is very similar to both of those tracks is in the Aero. I've gone for a front wing of 14 and a rear wing of 22. This provides excellent rear stability, while the low downforce approach ensures that we're pretty quick on the straights. This will make overtaking through the 3 DRS zones a real possibility. For the transmission, I've kept the on-throttle differential high at 82. This is one part of the setup where many may have a different approach. Turn 3 in Austria is extremely slow and is notoriously hard to find traction, so many drivers may like a low on-throttle diff setup for this one corner alone. However, the rest of the track is extremely fast and flowing and isn't overly traction limited. This is why the higher on-throttle diff is the preferred route. Round this out with an off-throttle diff of just 55. For the suspension geometry, I've gone for a front camber of -2.5 and rear camber of -1.1. This approach will help your car's traction out of the slower corners. Then a minimum toe setup of 0.05 at the front and 0.2 at the rear will help increase your straight line speed. The suspension setup may look like something right out of an F1 2021 car setup. However, the stiffer rear suspension and softer front suspension work together to provide a car that is stiff enough at the rear to best manage the longer corners. Go for a soft front suspension and anti-roll bar setup of 2 and stiff on the rear suspension and ARB with 7. The ride height is best when set at 3 at the front and 4 at the rear. And the brakes are our normal setup of 100% brake pressure and 50% bias. With the tyre pressures, I've increased them for this Austrian setup, going with 24.8 on both fronts and 22.5 on both rears. This will add a little extra bite and responsiveness, making your car a little more agile. This is perfect for throwing your car into the fast turns 1, 9 and 10 in particular. If your tyre setup values are different to these, try to get the closest values you can to my setup. This car setup is a little unique and stands out from the other F1 22 setups that have come before it. The inverted suspension setup creates a car that is more willing to respond on corner entry and mid-corner, and understeers less than a conventional F1 22 setup. But as always, let me know how you find this setup in the comments below and what route you've taken with your setup. If you found this video useful, drop it a like and please comment below because that will really help the YouTube algorithm, and subscribe to our channel for more daily F1 22 setup videos. But for now guys, I'll see you on track.